Hi Sammy fam. Today we're going to be making air-fried eggplant parmesan and eating it on a delicious, toasty, cheesy, saucy, open-faced sandwich. So we start with our eggplant, cut it into 1/4 inch, maybe a little thinner slices. This is a big boy. It's going to make a lot of eggplant parmesan. This is probably my first time cooking eggplant in 10 years, but I'm excited to see how it goes. Next, we salt our eggplant on both sides, and this is going to draw moisture out of the eggplant and give us a better texture when we cook them. You'll want to let this sit for about half an hour in a refrigerated setting. And I'll set aside all these leftovers so I can make a ton more after the video. To make our coating, we're using Italian breadcrumbs. I'm adding extra oregano. Dried basil. Fresh cracked pepper. A lot of pepper. And garlic powder. Just mix that up gently. There's garlic cloud going everywhere. I have to grate the cheese that will be mixed with the breadcrumbs. I'm using a very hard sheep's milk Pecorino Romano. I find that Pecorino Romano has a very nice savory flavor, saltiness, and lacks the fruity, herbal, floral flavors that a nice Parmesan might have. And right now I'm really just looking for savoriness, not floralness in my coating. So I'm using Romano instead of Parmigiano Reggiano. We'll have another station for just flour. And finally, a few whisked up eggs. So our eggplant can be coated in flour, dipped in egg, and then coated in our seasoned breadcrumb and cheese mixture. These 3 eggs ended up being enough of an egg coating to do the whole eggplant. I made enough eggplant parmesan for multiple sandwiches and even a pizza. Slice up our fresh mozzarella. That will go on top of our eggplant parmesan once we melt it all together in the oven at the end. I like to have all my ingredients just ready to go, waiting for me. And now we're going to make a sauce, but we're just going to take a store-made sauce that I really like and had some old in the fridge I need to get rid of, and we're going to augment it. We'll be using some fresh basil, chopped up so it distributes through the sauce nicely. Look at that mise en place, however you say it. We're going to add extra garlic to the sauce. I like the sharpness of fresh garlic. Like it starts out almost as a spicy element, and then as you cook it, it gets sweeter and more subtle. And I'm using some pancetta cubes. This will add savoriness and fattiness and a little bit of texture to the sauce. So we're going to start browning our pancetta cubes, add in our garlic. And once that starts to turn brown, we add in our sauce and some red pepper flakes just to get it a little bit spicier. Extra butter is going to help make this a very glossy, beautiful sauce. And who doesn't like butter? I just want to melt the butter in there, get it really incorporated and shiny. And then we're just going to take the heat off and let it rest until we're ready to use it. Because we don't want to overcook this basil that we're putting in. It adds a freshness and a levity to the sauce. You can tell our eggplant are ready because they're glistening with all the water that's come out and sitting on the surface. So we have to wash off all that salt. We don't want this to be a salty heart attack. Give them a quick pat dry so they're not soaking wet. Flour both sides. Take a bath in the egg. And really coat it with our breadcrumbs, cheese, and seasonings. Looks beautiful already. It's a little bit messy to get through all these, but it's well worth it in the end. Yummy. I found that I could fit 3 at a time into my air fryer basket, and I put down wax paper just because I was afraid of the little holes on the bottom ripping off the coating. Now these will cook at 370 for 10 minutes, and I flip them and do an extra 4 to 6 minutes to brown the other side. While they're cooking, we're going to get a slab of focaccia ready. This is a rosemary focaccia. And I'm just going to use 1/4 of this. I want it to get real toasty in the oven, like crunchy and dry, because there's going to be sauce and cheese and wet eggplant on top of it. So after, 5 minutes at 350, it's good to go. I've cooked our eggplant. I'm going to top with our augmented store-bought sauce. Place our fresh mozzarella on top of that. And now I'm going to place this under the broiler. Be real careful so you don't burn it. Mine took about 4 minutes. Got a few nice brown spots on top. I had to wait 10 minutes for this to cool off, and look, it's still steaming hot. That cheese looks amazing. And it tastes delicious. Crunchy bread, soft cheese, delicious sauce that tastes homemade, just from a few little tweaks. Crunchy bready coating on the eggplant. So savory.